IGCSE Physics 0625 High Mark Exam Strategy for Forces. You are about to get the exact exam strategy to master forces and pressure, completely eliminating the tiny, hidden mistakes that literally cost you the grade boundary. Pressure equals 14,000 divided by 1490, giving 9.4 pascals. Now, on the surface, this looks like a perfectly logical calculation for an exam question involving mass and area. You take the numbers given to you, you plug them into the equation, and you get a nice clean decimal. But I'm telling you right now, this is a fatal, incredibly common error. 0 marks. If you write this down in the exam, you will earn exactly 0 marks. This answer completely risks your entire grade boundary because it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of the variables at play. You cannot simply divide mass by area to get pressure. It just doesn't work that way. So, why does ordinary revision fail you in these high-pressure exam moments? Well, it's because just memorizing equations simply isn't enough to satisfy the incredibly strict Cambridge 0625 mark scheme. Students consistently lose marks for things like missing units, rounding way too early in the calculation, giving vague explanations, plugging in the wrong variables like using mass instead of force, and drawing conclusions that are completely unsupported by the data. The mark scheme demands absolute precision. The top band answer framework. Okay, so the absolute crucial point is following these 4 steps every single time you tackle a question like this. Step 1, identify the core concept, in this case, the true definition of pressure. Step 2, extract the correct evidence and data from the prompt, paying super close attention to the units. Step 3, apply scientific reasoning, like actually converting mass to weight. And finally, step 4, use examiner wording to finalize your answer. Following this sequence guarantees every single method mark is claimed. Real exam question breakdown. Imagine a massive double-decker London bus. The prompt gives us a mass of 1.4 times 10 to the power of 4 kilograms. The area of contact of its tires with the road is 1,490 square centimeters, and the examiner asks us to estimate the pressure. Do you notice those tricky units? The area is given in square centimeters, but the final answer actually must be in pascals. Plus, we are given mass here, not force. This brilliantly illustrates the exact difference between a failing grade and top marks. The flawed approach is calculating pressure by taking the mass directly and dividing it by the area. But look at the top band framework in action. First, you absolutely must multiply the mass by g, which the prompt specifies as 9.8 meters per second squared, to find the actual weight. Remember, weight is the force. Only after finding the weight can you calculate pressure. The scientific reasoning step of converting mass to weight is completely non-negotiable for those marks. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you the hidden examiner clue that completely changes how you approach the next problem. But first, what actually happens when your standard calculation tools are taken away entirely? Picture an airplane flying at 840 kilometers per hour, taking 17 hours and 22 minutes to travel from New York to Singapore. Here is the specific, kind of panic-inducing instruction from the exam. Estimate how far it is in kilometers without using a calculator. Literally no standard tools, just your brain and the raw data in front of you. This brings us right to that critical command word, estimate. What does it actually demand in the context of the Cambridge mark scheme? Well, to estimate means to roughly calculate or judge the value by rounding data to manageable numbers, entirely without a calculator. And this is the hidden examiner clue that solves our open loop. You aren't supposed to find the exact, highly precise decimal here. You are supposed to demonstrate your estimation logic. So can you mentally spot the estimation path? First, we take that 17 hours and 22 minutes and simply round it down to a clean 17 hours. Second, we keep the speed at 840 kilometers per hour. Third, we use the core concept. Speed equals distance divided by time. By quickly rearranging this to distance equals speed multiplied by time, you can easily multiply 840 by 17 in your head to grab your top band marks without ever touching a calculator. The examiner's final check. All right, here is your strict examiner-style final checklist before you move on. Are the correct units included? Have you used appropriate significant figures? For instance, that bus question explicitly demanded an answer in pascals to exactly 2 significant figures. If you give 3, you lose the mark. Are your graph scales correct if you're drawing 1? And finally, just the basic reasonableness of data. Does the pressure of a double-decker bus actually make sense in the real world? Okay, so you've fixed your variables. You've absolutely mastered the calculations. But what is the hidden cause behind command words that is still secretly deciding your exact mark band?
There's actually a deeper layer to these questions that can trap even the most prepared students. To find out exactly how command words manipulate your final score, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Until then, ask yourself, are you losing marks because of your math or because you just don't actually know what the examiner is asking?